Thank you for that introduction. I am Vani, and I'm the Inform Environment GIS Specialist for the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, or SPREP. So SPREP, along with our sister organization and crop agencies, SPC and USP, have served 21 countries and territories throughout this enormous expanse of water and small islands. As you can see, we're very familiar with our Pacific Islands EEZ boundaries. So with this in mind, the climate change resilience, ecosystem-based adaptation, biodiversity, environmental governance, waste, and pollution, especially marine pollution and hazardous waste, are among our primary mandated areas. As you can see, the bulk of the Pacific Ocean is water, and so is that area, which makes it ideal for remote sensing and monitoring, as only 2% of our land area is comprised of the Pacific Islands. SPREP works in 4 key mandated areas: climate change resilience, islands and ecosystem biodiversity, waste management, including hazardous waste, marine pollution, and environment governance. One thing that all 4 of these mandatory areas have in common is the requirement to host and exchange, promote current environmental databases, which we believe that observations could significantly improve. Although there is a complete absence of data in the Pacific, there are some significant obstacles that as Pacific Island nations in locating what is available, as well as some significant spatial gaps that can be observed by our member countries and national governments. So as you can see on the slide, the SPREP Pacific Environment Data Portal is one of the data repositories that stores both national data from our member countries and regional data, and makes finding and accessing, reusing regional and national data simple. So it also makes environmental data sets available for monitoring, evaluating and analyzing environmental conditions and trends. So Earth observation plays a major role in trying to update it on our national portal for our members, as well as the regional portal in terms of environmental data sets. So as you can see on this SPREP environment portal, there are over 12,000 data sets. There's some dashboards and also data stories from our members on how environment data can be made better for them to have efficient decision-making for the members and for the people in terms of environment monitoring and management. One of the most significant challenges that the Secretariat is attempting to address in recent years is to develop a standardized set of indicators to use across the region by national authorities for environmental reporting. This really helps with tracking change over time by using consistent indicators. So these indicators, having a standard set of indicators, as we all know, our Pacific archipelago, we have the same environment challenges that's being addressed. It just differs in terms of sizes and capacity. So having a standardized set of indicators helps us to have what is common throughout our Pacific Island member countries, which will guide them in addressing multilateral environment agreements and reporting at national level and regional level. These indicators are used in national state of the environment reports, which provides a snapshot or health check of the environmental indicators, the key ones, and its status for both reporting, for planning, allocation, and creating projects that our member countries can utilize to address the challenges that they face.
Vani, I think we lost you. Okay. It's coming back.
Did I just go off there for a while?
Yeah.
Okay,
You just
all right.
went missing. Okay.
Sorry,
Fine that you're
apologies
back.
for that. Yep, I'll just pick it up from where I left.
Okay.
All right, set. So like I've mentioned, these indicators, the standardized indicators, so they are used for national state of the environment reports. As you can see there on the screen, we have the Tonga SOE report and the Niue State of the Environment report. So the reports provide a snapshot or health check of key environmental indicators and strategies for both reporting, planning, and allocating fund for projects for the members. So importantly, there is always a mapping to key international agreements and targets inside the State of the Environment reports. And a strong indicator-based reporting, such as the Sustainable Development Goals, the Commission on Biodiversity, ensures that the data is used for multiple purposes. So this sends across a consistent message that the data is used to reduce the reporting burdens on countries that have limited human capacity so that they can spend more time on the ground implementing projects and less time reporting. So what we are discussing here is that you're reporting on the state of the environment, the same indicators can be used to address the multilateral environment agreements that our national government will have to report at international level. So as you can see, this the indicators used are able to address SDG 14 for life below water and SDG 15 for life on land. So it actually describes how the status is, the trend, is it improving or not improving or stable? And the data confidence in terms of what reports that are out there that the members are able to justify why the trend and the status that they have been allocated for their state of the environment. But so as you can see, having access to Earth observation would really strengthen this part of reporting in terms of indicators for our members in the region. I've also put the link at the bottom of the slide if you're interested to have a look at the reports and other reports that's available for our regional members. So the findings of the State of the Environment report, particularly the challenges, they help Pacific Island governments establish national environment management strategies, or NEMS for short form. So these are typically 5-year plans that aid in the identification of priorities and techniques for addressing identified challenges. So as you can see on the slide, some of the NEMS action informed by the SOE report. So we're going back to the State of Environment report, the challenges that have been identified from that report according to the theme. And then we're able to address this on how the governments or the national governments can help lessen the burden or try to address what other key measures that they can take to improve on this. So in the next State of the Environment report, we can see that the status has changed, the trend has changed, the reporting has changed. So in this way, we are able to keep track not only of the health of the state of the environment for our members, but at the same time, we are giving them recommendations on how they can improve on this and can report against this in the next State of the Environment report. So importantly, Pacific Island governments have stepped up at the forefront to frequently enforce the environment impact assessment. So this is to help developers reach more sustainable and environment-friendly outcomes. So again, the importance of having these indicators, it connects to the State of Environment report, to the National Environment Management Strategies, and to the strengthening of environment impact assessment. As we all know, our different members, they have Environment Management Act and legislations in place. So what the regional EIA guideline just maps onto what is already available for our member countries. So it's just making sure that whatever that is reflected on the national environmental guidelines for the members is also in according to the regional EIA guideline. It's a very broad picture of what the member countries can do to strengthen and ensure sustainable development for our member countries. I've also put the link at the bottom of the slide if you are interested to visit some of the guideline itself. So this is just a document that we share with our member countries so that they're able to gauge on whether they have implemented some of the contents and whether this has been captured in the National Environment Management Acts. So the crop agencies have been around since the foundation of SPC, with the existence of SPREP since 1993. Climate change resilience, which includes adaptation, mitigation, and climate science, as well as ecosystem and biodiversity conservation. Excuse me, are mandatory areas for SPREP support to nations. So as you can see from our vision that a resilient Pacific environment sustaining our livelihoods and natural heritage in harmony with our cultures. So SPREP's principal mandates is on climate change adaptation, mitigation, and biodiversity conservation. So these mandates are aligned to our priorities, which is on climate change resilience, ecosystem, services, and waste management, and the environment monitoring and governance. So these areas of SPREP that support our member countries, the main theme is that it contributes to adaptation by our members to climate change, also in terms of protected areas and invasive species control, among others. So I just want to take time to pause here for a moment. As you can see from my very picture that I've put on the slide. So this is the main gist of my presentation today. So as you can see that there is a significant gap in the Pacific Island countries, and as also mentioned by Jans, in terms of coverage for satellite imagery coverage for our member countries. So these gaps in the Pacific Island countries is also at regional level. The requirement for more spatially comprehensive data sets and the ability to analyze remotely sensed imageries has created a severe technical capacity gap. As we know that SPC's GEM division has outstanding capability in terms of addressing these, but there is a major technical capacity vacuum in the environment and climate change sectors, particularly in nations like Kiribati, Tuvalu, Niue, which have populations of less than 1,500 people. Here at SPREP, we only have 2 GIS offices. Thus, our ability to evaluate remotely sensed images and develop actionable or derived products from this is extremely limited. So at the national level, technicians in high capacity countries can often make maps and do basic analysis using vector and raster files. However, there is a gap in the processing of transforming real-time remotely sensed imageries into meaningful data. And I think this is addressed in one of the questions that came earlier of having the technical capacity, not only for those who are specialized, those who know this, but for the public as well, for them to understand. So this problem is transferring existing data from technicians, as you can see, to the department head or to the authority, all the way to the decision maker who may allocate resources or prioritize a certain region or design a policy to solve the issue. For example, one of the current initiatives that SPREP is working on in partnership with IUCN is for the Solomon Islands. It's in terms of the EREPA project. So ERAPA is ensuring a resilient ecosystem and representative protected areas in the Solomon Islands. So Earth observation will greatly enhance this in terms of assessing watershed and ecosystem health over time, as well as land cover and land use change, mangrove health. This will provide an accurate indication of the current environmental assessments with the derived data to assist not only the region, but the national government, Solomon Islands, in terms of environment planning and decision making. So as a result, this community that we're meeting here today has an opportunity to bridge the gap between Earth observation and products that Pacific Islands can use with through technical groups such as SPREP, we can implement for our members on their behalf. So as you can see, we're very familiar with what the diagram is now trying to tell us. So it says the data that is received, there is the gap, the message complexity that goes to our members. They may have, some of them will have a GIS specialist or GIS officers who are able to do this, but the gap is in how can we make use of Earth observation data in terms of post-process or process EO data that can be used to conduct analysis for our member countries. So that is what we are trying to explain here, is that SPREP can partner with Copernicus on how we can effectively assist our member countries through this in terms of Earth observation data and for analysis in terms of environmental analysis that can be conducted for the imageries to support our member countries. So in conclusion, SPREP's main goal and reason for existence is to help Pacific Islands better manage the environment, increase climate resilience, and achieve long-term development. And we agree that using Earth observations to address this issue would improve and will be highly beneficial to our member states. But there is that technical capacity vacuum that we hope this community can fill. So we know that there is data available, but we need to bridge that gap, that technical capacity vacuum that is currently in existence, that to work with Copernicus and to move forward in how we can better support our member countries, provide environmental information and reporting requirements to the various international reporting that they are addressed to. So in the end, it also helps the member countries to make better informed decision making in terms of environment planning, and also to combat or to better support and increase in climate resilience for their members and holistically in the region as well. So what we are proposing is that if we can have data that is available for our member countries that I've mentioned, Kiribati and Niue, there can be pilot projects that can be done, that we can use Copernicus support on this, and in collaboration for future projects that SPREP has in terms of environmental management and monitoring, as well as climate change resilience. Thank you for listening.